Let's resume with college football action now and take a look here with Central Florida and Kansas. This is game number 319, 320. Now, Kansas, look, they love Kansas, but we certainly have to make sure that Daniels, um, that he's in. You want him in there. I'm not saying that he's the be all end all. Obviously, he's a star and he's a great player. Kansas has been able to get by in the moments they have not had him, but I think last week kind of showed that Kansas there's still some vulnerabilities there. But look, this one opened 3 at Circa, but the look ahead, the line's been as high as 5, and now it's 2.5. That looks nice here for Kansas. Certainly, I think it's something I could kind of get behind a little bit. They, uh, had problems. Look, they've been running the ball pretty well too. We talk about Daniels, but they've been running over their opposition. But against a team like Texas, that wasn't going to happen. So if you were expecting them to be able to come in there and compete, um, maybe they did. Maybe 40-14. The score didn't look great, and they were never really going to threaten. But it wasn't like the old days of Kansas and Texas, right, or any other of those teams. So, but also just big yardage discrepancy in that game. It was just too much to handle. That's no big deal. But uh, look, Central Florida, what can you say? They blew that lead against Baylor over the last quarter plus of the game, and but there's still good balance, I think. So I'm probably going to give out the over in this one. It's already gone up to 65. It opened when we did that opening lines show. It opened 61 and a half. I think the number feels like it certainly dictates that Jalen Daniels is probably going to play. Maybe I can even pop up the injury report here and see what the latest is. I wasn't necessarily out of the news cycle yesterday, so but it just feels like if the total's going up, I think that pretty much to me that feels like it spells it out as far as the availability of Daniels is going to be concerned in the game this week. Right now, 2.5 across the board. Well, I'm showing one square book is down to a 2 right now in this one. Money heavily on the over here. Daniels listed as questionable. We know that Plumlee has been out now for Central Florida, but that's probably not going to stop what they're able to do. But I would have to think if Daniels is in there, this is a total shootout. But Bean has been fine. I think everyone agrees that Bean, um, you know, is a capable backup. He's not Daniels explosive. I don't even know if I should be talking about it like that. I think with this total right now, it should indicate Daniels is playing. I'm gonna take the over and just hope that's the case. Burley, thank you so much. And Emmanuel Mbatu, good morning and hello. Nice to see you. So, all right. Uh, let's see. First time these teams have ever met. So, all right. UCF, let's see. Without Plumlee, let's see who do they? Oh, McCain. Yeah, McCain. He, he's got talent, but it definitely limits their explosiveness here a little bit. But again, I think there's still some. You're still playing UCF. I feel like that's still going to be. That was a tough loss, man. Um, despite that, uh, let's see, outscored 30. Oh, I can't even figure that out right now, but All right. I'll mention Kansas has covered 6 straight games at home, and UCF just 1-4 against the spread on the as a road dog with Gus Malzahn so far. So um, I don't know. Kansas here getting some discount money. Giving out the over. Giving out the over on the show here right now. I'm going to save that side. Vanderbilt at Florida. Well, hasn't been real pretty here for Vandy, and the spread here reflects that minus 18, and the total here currently sits at 52. The Gators, uh, well, they lost it last year, right? Uh, by a touchdown. They were two touchdown underdogs last year, and Vandy nipped them. So you do have a little bit of revenge here again. Vanderbilt, they're 0-5. They're 0-5 against the spread. They lost by 17 to Missouri as a 14-point dog. I think I tried to play Vandy for some reason. Don't know necessarily what I was thinking. Because, to me right now, this Vandy team has about as many issues as any team. But the quarterback could be back this week. Oh, I thought I just saw an update on him this morning with Swan, so you'll have to forgive me here now, and I'm gonna have to check this injury report here. And Swan is upgraded to probable. That came in yesterday afternoon. So Swan upgraded to probable for the game. I mean, he's got good numbers. There's no doubt about it. But last week, Vanderbilt was outgained 530 to 300. And they did only trail by 10 points late, and they, kind of closed the gap there. But as far as Florida is concerned, they got off to a bad start in that game against Kentucky. We had Kentucky as a premium in that game. We thought it was not, again, Kentucky to me is one of the better teams in the SEC. I think we all can agree. I mean, they're not up there with the elites, but if you talk about that middle group, they're kind of. I think they proved it against Florida. Yeah, they were at home. Who cares? Kentucky beat you, Florida. And that's not supposed to happen in this world, but it did. Vanderbilt 0-12 straight up, 4-8 against the spread in SEC road openers, and their average loss in those games is over 22 points. But Florida, they do play South Carolina next. I don't know if that's too much of a look ahead, but does Florida have enough offense these days to cover a number like this right now? I think against this Vanderbilt team, they just might. I think Vanderbilt is. This might be kind of an unprecedented bad, and Vandy's had some bad teams over the years. Yeah, they've had some comeback. Had some show. Look, they won this game last year. Maybe they have something there against Florida that can help them stay in here. But this feels like a bounce back, a revenge. It's got all that here. It's probably going to be, pretty close to the number, but a 3 touchdowns seems possible here for me. I'm taking Florida on the show here. I'll lay this. It opened 19.5 and is down to 18. And I don't know, 17 is a more common point for a game to fall on than 18. So maybe even worth, people say that, it's not worth buying any points when you get farther away from zero. But remember this, the game is supposed to land where it's supposed to land. So really a 7-point game is supposed to be a 7-point game, and an 18-point game is supposed to be an 18-point game. Now there is going to be more variance as the score gets higher. I'm not talking totals, I'm talking sides. But I still think it's worth in a football game making sure you have the best possible number, even if you are. And I don't mind spreading it out also. Just make sure you have the bulk of your play on that best number. But I don't mind laying more as well. It's all relative. So, in fact, a bigger spread should have more variance. which can be good or bad, obviously. Okay, so here we go. I'll take the Gators in this one. I'm going to lay 18 points here with the Gators against Vandy, because you got to wonder how does feel a little bit funny with some of the numbers that Florida has been able to put up, but yeah, I'll still lay it. Vandy, they were outgained by Missouri by 232 yards and are averaging just 75 yards per game so far against Division I opponents. All right. Finally, we got to play out. Okay, I was always waiting for somebody to come in with a play here on this one. And Ferner says he's got under 52 and blowout. Ferner, go and make sure I'm reading that. I'm just going to think you're saying Florida blows them out, right? Or are you actually going Vandy? I'm not ridiculing or anything. It's just worded different there, and want to make sure I got you on record. Under 52, they'll blow out Vandy. Florida will blow out Vandy. That's what I'm going with. So I think, I'm thinking you're going with me. As far as the total right now, I might be on a premium here, so I'm not going to kind of talk about that too much. So I've got Florida in a blowout. And again, if you got it, let me know if you got Vandy as a big dog shocking them. Because there are definitely plenty of reasons to think why Florida, I don't know about blowout, but, covering a big number could be an issue. Just, not against Vandy right now. To me, this looks bad. And I think it will turn around for Vandy. I think they're look, their stadiums, they're working on things right in that stadium right now. I know there's a road game. I'm talking about in general for Vandy, some of their issues that they're faced with, right? Getting some of these other teams in there. Remember, some of these teams they're in these conferences. What can you say? I mean, if you were starting a conference over, probably wouldn't have Vandy. But what are you going to do? But it also gives supports those. Hey, you can't go playing Georgia Southern every game, so might as well beat up on Vandy. All right, you guys, great, appreciate you, Emmanuel. All right, we can't go college football preview week without going over Colorado Buffaloes and talk about what they're up to of late. Remember, I mean, we want to talk every time about Colorado this and Colorado, and Hunter being out for these games. I mean, that one player doesn't necessarily make a difference. The reason why I say that Colorado can, still hang in some of these games is because of the number of transfers. Remember that unprecedented number of transfers. So that's why they were able to keep competing against USC. We know the Pac-12 defenses get a little sketchy and all that, but we'll see what you think here. I mean, this total was as high as 63.5, is now down to 60.5. So we're definitely seeing a move to the under in this game. And as far as the side is concerned, it says Colorado -4 on the screen, but I'm starting to see 3.5s. And this is from off of an opener of 6. Now, I'm going to update the line because I'm probably going to end up on ASU here on the show. I am going to end up on ASU here on the show. I think kind of things start to slow down here a little bit for Colorado because they're facing a team that doesn't have as explosive of an offense, but they're still on the road here. You're still dealing with a high total, even for Colorado. I think, I think the game itself will just end up a little bit different because of the type of matchup, this ends up being. So you have Arizona State. I mean, they're dismal on offense right now, but they're okay they're okay defensively. But Colorado, they're terrible defensively. But again, consider the opposition. So that's something you have to take into consideration in this game. We're moving into a little bit of a different. I don't know if you kind of equate this toward the Colorado State game necessarily. I mean, you would think Arizona State could be rated a little bit ahead of them there, but uh, you know, Colorado, that was a great job coming back, man. This has got to be a little bit of a letdown in a weird sort of way to come in and play the Sun Devils here, considering all these awesome matchups. Even the Colorado State game was a rivalry game with that, you know, uh, good-natured trash talking, I guess I'd call it now. Arizona State has covered just 8 of their last 20 games, but they did cover their last 2 here. I think they're live. I think Arizona State's live. I probably want them on the money line as well. I'm not. Look, I've been that guy. I've been one of those guys on Colorado. You know, at the right time. I think we've hit them pretty. I think we've hit them okay here. I think 3-1. You know, feels like we're 3-1. I don't have it on record. I just know that because of the most talked about team, I've been on them most of the time. I'm off them. I'm off them here against ASU. That's just the way it's gonna be. Uh, Look, uh, this might be a good spot for them to pick up a win, but I see this total going, being bet down. It opened 62 and a half, went up to 63 and a half. It did touch 59 and a half, is now back up to 60 and a half. I expect it to be a lower scoring game because of the dynamics of Arizona State a little bit here and a letdown spot is what it, kind of what it feels like. So I think if you the way the game just ends up getting played for me is and it's what because I'm seeing plenty of support for the over out there. Looking at some cappers here, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm seeing it that way, and I might be saving this total. I better stop talking about it because I might be seeing the total as a premium here. All right. Uh, this is kind of back down to earth. It feels like for me in this one. Arizona State, they definitely have some. They're banged up a little bit here, but this is more. It just feels like more of a spot play for me. They've got a pretty interesting quarterback playing okay. Like I said, the offense isn't great, but Bourget, he uh, let's see, 344 yards. ASU had more yards than Cal. Last year in this game, Arizona State led 42-20 in the fourth, and they were 13 and a half point favorites in that one though. So it might be tough to equate this, but the Colorado did get in the back door with an 88-yard punt return for a touchdown. All right. ASU has a bye next week. That also is a positive sign for me. I'm going to be on ASU. I'll take them on the money line as well, but I'm going to take 3.5 points. I'll be all over the place with ASU. I'll probably just grab the whole window of numbers there all the way. And Verner talking about Shiloh Sanders, right? The defensive back. Because I thought we knew that. Trying to refresh my memory here. You can help me. All right, Ferner, appreciate it. All right, ASU for me. More SEC action with the Kentucky Wildcats and the Georgia Bulldogs. What's going on here with this one? Don't they know who the Kentucky Wildcats are? Now, I know that, it's still the Georgia Bulldogs. Look, I'm not going to get into any discuss, but Kentucky's pretty darn good if you haven't noticed lately. And I don't know. I kind of want to talk about this one from Kentucky perspective. I'm trying to, still paint the picture here a little bit with the, uh, Georgia's situation. I mean, they're still the star, the star team in this performance, but they haven't covered a spread yet. What makes you think they're going to start now? This is a huge discount off the look-ahead line, but maybe no one saw this coming from Kentucky. Why didn't they? They should have a good defense this year. It feels like, you know, why wouldn't they compete in this game? They're a good team, man. I do have some concerns, because of the line down here at 14 and a half. I mean, if you took a look at this line a year ago, you'd probably, of course, not hesitate. But I think right now, with their not only have they not covered anything this year, Georgia's failed 7 of their last 9-point spreads overall. They never led Auburn until that touchdown pass with 3 minutes to go in the game. And boy, it feels like Kentucky can compete here. Look at that total up to 49. What's going on here? This doesn't feel right. I've got like Kentucky in a low score, it feels like to me. Why is the total? The total opened 44 and a half on that Circa show. Okay, maybe that, I don't know. That seemed pretty good. It was immediately bet up to 48 and a half. And immediately I was ready to kind of consider it then, but now it's up to 49. It is juiced to the under, but it is at that 49 number. So it's just been a bad series for Kentucky. That's all. But feels like this Kentucky team is better. So why couldn't they stay within a touchdown here in this game? It feels like they ran all over Florida. That didn't even look like Florida. They were running the ball so good against them in that game. How many? I want to look at that yard. It was big time, right? 329 rushing yards. Is that right? Am I looking at the right thing here? Florida used to give up they were a defense that gave up less than 100 a game. So good job there, certainly by Kentucky. And, you got to wonder if that was a wake-up call for Georgia last week. This offense doesn't look that great to me, and Kentucky's defense is definitely a good SEC defense. Let me just say it right there. I think we can agree. Now they won't be able to run like they did, I'm sure, against the Gators. That's going to be different. So I don't know where they're getting this total from. I'm going with Kentucky here on the show. I figure it's got to be a 1-touchdown game. Kentucky's very, very good. Kentucky is. I won't get too excited here. Kentucky's good. Could I sprinkle the money line? I might. I might not. I might not tell anybody. I'm not giving out the money line here on the show, but Georgia just gets off to slow starts. How about a first half money line on Kentucky? The way Georgia's been, not getting. Look at the South Carolina game. They trail. We do Auburn. They trailed the whole game, right? So, Brock Bowers is a problem. He's pretty awesome. But like I said, Kentucky, good defense. I think we already Brock Bowers. Everybody knows where he is on the field, right? Except Auburn. Because it seemed like there was a guy on him, and then he just slide off of him, make another catch. So, all right. Also, no sacks allowed by Kentucky last week. And Davis with that big game. Wow. Okay. Kentucky's defense, they've allowed just 300, under 300 yards a game so far. So, not only Georgia, not only without trying to get used to remember it's a new coordinator, it's a new quarterback. So, got to take the dog here, you guys. Bill says Kentucky's live to win the game. It sounds like he's saying. Ferner says Georgia's not covering, but Kentucky can't put up scores. I got you. We're going, yeah. I'll take Kentucky though here on the show. My computer says take Georgia, but I think my computer is forgetting that. I don't know. Maybe the programmer needs to get on the ball here and fix it a little bit because computer is saying Georgia 18, but I'm gonna have to ignore my computer and go with the eye test on this one. And I've got Kentucky here. I should have a separate record for the eye test, I think. Right? We always try to see where we can get better. We always try to look at our records and everything. How do you do with the? Because maybe the computer, like go with the computer or go with the eye test. All right, buddy. I hope you're still out here. I'm ready to talk Notre Dame football. I don't know if you left me, but I'm ready for your comments about the Irish if you're still out there. Bud Bankston, want to hear about your Fighting Irish here coming in on the road as a 6.5 point favorite in this one over Louisville. The total looks like it's settled here at 54. It's been kind of all over the place so far. I saw it open 53.5 when we talked about it on that show. And it went as high as 56.5, as low as 51.5, and here we are. So Notre Dame, what can you say? I mean, ever since they own the ACC, they run the ACC now, maybe. I don't know. Not going to crown them just yet, but how about crowning them as spread champions of the ACC at least? Well, we know they've been rolling through 29 straight here, 21-8 against the spread, covering that number against Duke. Bill, how can Notre Dame? They don't have any letdown spots right now, it seems like. But I agree with you. Louisville might be the side in this one. The line's not really moving. Is it down to 6 or is it 6.5? Let me do want to take a peek at this. See if there's been it's 6.5. In fact, it's juiced here to Notre Dame currently. It did touch 6, I do believe. But the Irish led that entire. That was a great game. That Duke game, wasn't it? The Notre Dame led the whole way. Duke takes the lead, then Notre Dame gets that score. It was the low scoring, dramatic game. And what's next? USC. So you have to consider that. But man, Notre Dame, we used to make fun kind of Notre Dame's schedule a little bit, but here they are playing another undefeated team, another undefeated ranked team. It just keeps getting tougher. So I don't want to, in case Bud was out there, I don't want to I don't want to go against Notre Dame here, but maybe Bill can get me on the game, and I could just agree with Bill because that's kind of the way I kind of want to go right now. I know there's some sharp handicappers that are on the under in this game, but I'm not sure where that's coming from. I feel like the game's gonna have some points right now, the way these teams are going. So Louisville, we saw the game against NC State. They trailed 10-0 at halftime, but they did a great job defensively in the second half and eventually took that lead with 5 minutes left in the game. And I think it looked like the momentum had shifted. They were the better team. They got it done for the win. Remember, Notre Dame beat NC State 45-17. So, but again, Bill talking about the spot here mostly, I think, in this one. But man, the schedule just keeps getting tougher. Yeah, they own the ACC, but Louisville does seem to have some trouble with good defenses, and I don't know. It just feels like I don't know. Bill's swaying me here, but I'm probably going to be grabbing these points on the show. Maybe I'm more to I like both the side and the total kind of equal. So maybe I could just give them both out again like I did. We did it a couple of times on the show last week. I know we swept one of them. So Cards, they were probably looking past. Now that I think about it, they're probably looking past North Carolina State though ahead to this one. It feels like. All right. Louisville at home, they're pretty good. Pretty good. And they've covered. They've been covering at home and failing on the road, right? So Notre Dame has, the defense is solid, no doubt about it. I just feel like, man, could the total go down at all? I'm going to go with Louisville. I'm not sold on that total just quite yet. Actually, I want to go over so bad, but there's just my numbers are saying over, but I'm going to respect some of my Capper friends right now and just to take it. I don't see anything else coming out of the chat here, so I think I've made my call on this one. I'll just stick with the side. I like the total a lot. It still could break for me. It feels like here as a premium, but I'm just gonna roll with the side for now, and see if I have any more. Louisville's gone under in 7 of 10. Notre Dame's gone over in 10 of their last 13. Notre Dame over in 6 of their last 7 on the road. All right, I've already made the call. Louisville it is. All right, Arkansas and Ole Miss. In this one. All right, here we go. Ole Miss favorite here now by 11.5. And the total here, 63 for the most part. It opened around 63. The look ahead was as high as 68.5, but and also was a look ahead of 9. But this one has been, it did get as high as 13, and there has been some buyback here. I don't know. I kind of buy the buyback, I think. I also look. I didn't have a shot at that. I didn't look at that look ahead line 68.5. I think this is going to be more a defensive oriented game for sure, and I think that could help Arkansas stay within maybe single digits here. I know there might be a tendency to think that Ole Miss could roll them, but the Hogs, there might be something wrong, obviously, at this point with Arkansas. I mean, some of these losses have been, whether or not you were expecting them or not, they've been hard to take, especially for Arkansas fans. And A&M game, right? Ole Miss here, with that upset of LSU, that's why I think they've gotten a lot of momentum here. But man, I don't know if I don't know if I can trust them laying double digits. And what I have is a lower scoring game than most. It feels like to me. This is a desperate time. This is desperate times for desperate measures. Desperate measures for desperate times. Feels like for Arkansas, Alabama's on deck. There's no need to be looking ahead to Alabama at this point when you need a win desperately. I don't know, how does that work out? So you can either, come with it, or you're going to get. It feels like they're either going to come with it or get crushed. Those are tough spots. And good thing this is a free play. It feels like in this one, but I trust maybe Arkansas to come in and have a good effort after 3 games of, they can't be this. I don't want to call them. I'm not even calling them bad. I mean, Ole Miss doesn't have any deep, right? Arkansas can score here, right? Ole Miss's defense isn't anything special, for sure. Let's see if I have any good trends on this one. Oh man, Ole Miss 1-9 against the spread in this series. Yeah, maybe it's shifted a little bit here because the Rebels haven't been an underdog. They're always a favorite, huh? But 5 straight losses in the series as well. All right, I might be sold right there on Arkansas. I didn't even have this as part of my notes here written down as a handicap. I'm kind of just looking off the trend sheet here, getting some more, you know, building some more handicapping here with you on the air. That's what I'm. And that's kind of what I do, right? Because I'm all about the line movement. Yeah, I'm all about these trends too. You know that. You know that if you've been hanging here with me. But look, Rebels are off that crazy game. What was it? 55-49. Make sure that. Yeah, 55-49 is a 2.5 point dog. They had 706 yards. Judkins, 177 yards, finally got off. He wasn't doing anything before that. Arkansas had just 174 yards against A&M in that loss, and then the LSU game. So, but Sanders is back. I thought he looked, Sanders is back. So, remember he was smoking. So there's no doubt he can do it. Ole Miss averaging close to 400 yards and 25 points per game. Under Pittman so far, 7-3 as an away dog in conference. That's good enough for me. I'm going to take these points with Arkansas just as a free play on the show. But I tell you, I do probably going to get involved with this total under. No picks from the gang. That's going to be it then from me. No reason to go on. Just kidding. That's all I had planned for today.